You've lived beyond your relevance. Another song, another age. Another line while in a trance. Routine by prompt, an empty stage. The art lives past the life, and all they want is what you did when young. The bright first thing, the curtain call, when fireworks flew and bells were rung. Yet still the audience appears. The props are now collectible, but all creations in arrears, and art is imperfectible. A shiver slices to your core. Your fans will get the eulogy before you end the trilogy you started many years before. A snowball with a granite shard. An encore to an emptied hall. The dance all done, the classics played. Back then, it was not so hard to be the major act. Enthrall your fans, at least the ones who stayed. A fad will rise, a bubble pop with the slightest touch. The greatest hits came out before you called it quits, and timeless love was set to stop. You won the day, but lost the war, remembered as the one who did that thing, you know? The thing he did. The thing he does for one more tour. The thing he did. The thing he did before. It's called Friends of the Library Sale. It's fallen half apart, a derelict. The gatherings have sprung, the boards detached, the spine perished, folding maps cut out. The title page is splotched with ink and nicked at the edge. The author's homely portrait scratched. A splash of beer, faint thumb marks all about. Discarded once, but now it's yours. It lives, like you, diminished now by age and loss. And so it brings the breeze, the autumn sun, the creaking door that with a push still gives the afternoon, the birds and clouds, grass, moss, the world still new, the journey not begun, the path curling from sight in the soft glow of a fading day, and you prepared to go. This one's called Dig. You'll dig your hole with teaspoons, thimbles, pins. Get started soon. It's going to take a while. You get an inch, and then the rain begins. You dig a year and make a little pile. At least the music's pretty good. It ends when digging stops. You want to dance, but then it's silence all around, and that just sends you back to dig the endless earth again. The hole is big enough to hold your foot. You take a break. You've done enough. It's earned. Or so you hope. You wonder where you put the pin. The rain is gone. The sun has burned your face, then clouds, then cold rain again. You free a worm. You pull it out and throw it on the pile. It wriggles back in. And when you look again, it's gone, where you will go. Beneath the heavy world you learned to love, to join the ones who dug before, those who, with care, taught you to dig while here above, as if it's all you're really born to do. This one's called Garden Song, with a subtitle, Puzzle Box. Today, I made the trees. The puzzle doesn't know. and soon I'll arm the bees. The puzzle plays a role. My flaw is in my gift. The puzzle shows a crack. Fumes build and fill the rift. The puzzle asks a toll. My desk of ice has thawed. The puzzle takes me back, though love is ever flawed. The puzzle tells me so. My legion needs to sleep. The puzzle makes me feel my secret plans won't keep. The puzzle fills a cup. The priestess gives a look. The puzzle has no end. My sky has lost its book. The puzzle's not begun. The game is on again. The puzzle isn't real. Illusions grow, and then the puzzle brings a friend. At dawn, strange sails draw near. The puzzle wakes me up. The vapor trails are clear. The puzzle starts to bend. Vast snows eclipse the moon. The puzzle isn't fun. The war begins too soon. The puzzle leaves the fight. The desert pours back in. The puzzle nears its end. The dream can now begin. The puzzle thinks it won. I don't know what it knows. The puzzle rests in light. I won't get what it owes. The puzzle's never done. So it's called Anamnesis. And it's about the frustration of the two things not truly meeting entirely. The streamhead starts in stone. The air there, singing a sadness of the stars as they come clear in light you lose. A laundered white of dandelion wisp, a mossy blur of Milky Way. It flows, meandering for months to reach a land beside a coast where the first long light is on the fields. And there, before the sea, the stream runs dry. Shadows come to rest in ruts of frost. Wet mounds of mown grass begin to glow. The sun and ember in the sky. The ground churned up, manure, sure odor of loam. A shoreward wind, shivering the skins of stream and sea where they nearly touch. A single droplet flies to join the other, its saline vanishing in snowmelt, pure water met with salt. All autumn you'll linger here to watch chaff burn. In spring, await the longing, the hard return. The locust sleeps, and in its rest sleep harbingers of drought, old hungers and harvest, the millioned squirm of microscopic life below, acres soon dissolved by fog to foam. The earth fulfills the day. The sedge survives. Magnifiers of underlying silence. The hour proves, again, she lacks whatever sleep requires. The black seems to change, but moves as only one darkness, with her inside. She prods his back to see if he's asleep, but he's out. She can't understand why, but she can't stop thinking about the basement. The little room almost closed with clutter, deep in the winter earth. Cold even in July, where they store Christmas ornaments, Halloween costumes, Easter decorations. She rises, pulls her slippers on, thinking, the floors will be cold, and descends a staircase, then another. thinking of compensations that keep her close to him, closing doors as she goes, as if partly to erase what falls behind her, switching on every light till the house is bright as a cruise ship stranded on the dark hill. She pauses in the kitchen to open a drawer, then down to the last place, to light the bare bulb in the basement. What a thrill to light the house, as if it burns. Then she pulls the breaker and the house goes black. He wakes, feels for her, but can't find her. The flashlight's bewildering beam turns through the house, casting a harp of shadows up the wall through the back of a chair, scaring off a cat, but she's nowhere. And he has to get the house lit again. So he keeps going on, room to room, until he's in the basement. And there, in the small circle of light, the breaker box and main. He sees someone, kneeling and weirdly still, slumped doll-like, hair shrouding her face. It rises slowly, and he's relieved it's she. And then, confused, sees it's not she at all. Somehow, how he can't tell, she's taken his place behind a mask that looks like, could it be? Like his face. And he's backed to the icy wall, and then she lifts the blade to him as she pleads through the slit hole of mouth, "Please, help me." So this is called From the Balcony on Heavy Metal Tribute Night at the Trocadero. By the way, this is like a spare copy of this book. If anybody, this is my latest book. If anybody wants this copy, I'm sitting over there. I'll hand it to you. You can have it for free. Darkness throbs below. 4 teenaged women execute thrash metal tributes, routines of accomplished ferocity. Furious blonde plumes of hair lobbed side to side on the blinding stage. Splay-legged in tight jeans, not muscled arms attacking black guitars until they shriek. I dream of vanished empires of the sea, lamps turned down along distant avenues, and know I'm always partly somewhere else, watching Degas' ballet dancers, aslant like snow-loaded furs at their haunted rehearsal. The rostrum a grotto, flanked by valleys where nymphs sleep and hunters climb in cold shadow. Feet in position, the singer calls the next song, ready to pivot at heel as she charges into Ride the Lightning. 3 awkward, aging men, thick-torsoed and gray goateed, lighters aloft, nod their blunt heads at the foot of the stage for their fighters and fawns, Valkyries summoning them like memories of themselves into receding vistas of smoke. Thank you.
So this is Cordial Letter from West Philadelphia. Kaylee, do you ever feel now blind and off the meth, like a sunflower in a vase? Uprooted, I mean. I do. I'll try my best to tell you what I see. I'm in Clark Park, sunny spring day, trees, picnickers, squirrels. How can I enact these row homes for you? Their silent facades tremble with familiarity. Nah, that's no good. The trembling is a trolley rolling by, and on the wind, a whiff of the end of the world. You smell it too, I bet. Let me try again. These robins, a bush of screaming prophets. Can you feel my relief? Ah, I'm no good at this. How can I portray this woozy circus music ice cream truck? How can I animate the earth so you'll see it too? Long ago, when I arrived at the page, the words were there for me, first graders waiting in line. Now they glower, goblins in dark potholes. They owe me nothing and know it. How I long for you to see Clark Park. The men playing chess, the girl and her grandma handing a popsicle back and forth. I'm here, Kaylee, dead center of the universe, I swear. As if we, all of us, were emerging from a coma. The way this homeless fella, straw hat, elastic under his chin, trembles in the grass. The way I trembled during my first kiss. That was winter. Linda, short, red-haired Linda, rolled onto me in the snow. That weight, lips warm. So now, the world emerging, we are free to name the things in it. This wind, that leaf, this hand of mine, which is a kind of begging bowl. The moment of transgression and fog has passed. It's just you and me, Kaylee, in this horrible clarity. Can you believe there's a word for every item in the park? The straw hat, the popsicle, everything nameable. Even that kiss, Linda urging my head into the snow, I'd call beautiful. Resurrection Walk, it's called. I'm walking, almost skipping, up Sandsome, past the noshery. Suddenly this broad moon of a face, brown hair, freckles, hard beauty. So I stop, step back, backward, slow at first, a few steps, not to trip, then briskly back, toward the bridge, up the Schuylkill, back I step, along the highway, toe heel, always backward, shoulder of the road, vehicles hissing by, sports car, minivan, transport truck. Hours pass, days, weeks, sun rising west, setting east. I see wrong way around to what's behind, what's gone. Roadkill, twisting in a blood sun hat toward a pickup truck. Then it pops up, the skunk, trotting backward into a grove. Summer folds into spring, spring to winter. Flowers shrink, green wanes. Kids put on sweaters, mufflers, hoods. Old folks pick up speed. I walk on, back, toe, heel. My grandma hops out of her wheelchair, walks unaided backward into her Inwood apartment, waving, hello. A sheet is lifted from Matthew's body. His face, convulsing, frowning. He flips me the bird, leaps backward into his painting studio. A box is lifted out of the ground, lid removed. Zoe is hoisted into a black car that backs away to the morgue, ICU. Zoe chokes awake. Eyelids twitch, fingers shiver, lifted onto a gurney and backed out of the hospital into an ambulance to a park, lowered onto the street in a heap from which she springs suddenly, uncoiling into the air, spiraling, road gashed, toward a Toyota, wounds closing, her moth wing ribcage against the windshield, and Zoe rises, backward, smoothly, onto her feet, into a rhythmic run, evening sun climbing, Toyota speeding in reverse through the broken fence, away from Zoe, who jogs back, up the stairs, toe, freckles, nose ring, earbuds. The Toyota swerves backward, out of the park to a pub, spits a man onto a stool, vomiting drink after drink out of his stomach into a glass. This is called Insomniac in Center City, and it starts off where I used to live in West Philly, taking a trolley and then going up to North Broad. I climb aboard the trolley like a Madagascan fat-tailed dwarf lemur, which hibernates 6 months, vanishing into sleep half his life. Lemurus, from Latin, spirits of the dead, roaming at a slow pace. Humans sleep 25 years. I sleep so little, it's as if I'm always sleeping. Look, it's snowing on the dogs of Clark Park. A cow can sleep standing up, but only ever dreams lying down. The Oaxaca cave sleeper fish has no eyes. Does it dream? To locate sustenance in a nutrient-poor environment, it veers toward vibrations, As I am a poet in Philadelphia, this resonates. Bone weary on the packed trolley, I stand, bovine. With each blink, I dream. On Market Street, circadian lopsidedness. A man in a tinfoil hat shrieks. I, extra in a school play, step out of the frame, shut my eyes. After a day, insomniacs nod off. A few seconds at first. I'm jarred awake by a brass band, North Broad. Look, in the snow, among the cars, two men on horses. I veer toward them. I hop on a horse, roaming at a nice slow pace across a parking lot, under a bridge. A cop waves to me. An addict waves from inside a garbage bag tent. The mayor waves, drapes his sash around my neck. Snow is rising to my horse's knees. Who cares? Now I'm the mayor of Broad Street, the mayor of snow.
Without you. These nights stretch on without you, like prisoners on the rack, and every secret begs another screw. They scream, then cease, then torment comes anew. As each dawn fails to pierce the dungeon's black, these nights stretch on without you. Your presence is like stars in smoggy blue. These city nights, another thing I lack, and every secret begs another screw. I dream you're throwing knives. Your aim is true. And everyone is lodged deep in my back. These nights stretch on without you. I lie awake, the questions form a queue. My brain plays endless movies of flashbacks. And every secret begs another screw. And even though I know that we are through, and I can't rewrite this ripped up paperback, these nights stretch on without you, and every secret begs another screw. That was a villanelle, by the way. This one is also a villanelle. It's called Villanelle. Okay. I can't write this story without cliches or using my blood instead of ink. I am a product of how I was raised. I studied my parents, learned their ways. Their love was an ocean. I could never drink. I can't write this story without cliches. I tried to swim in a way that they would praise. But tired of fighting riptides, I began to sink. I am a product of how I was raised. A fish won't ever learn to stargaze. If you can't breathe, you thrash until you only blink. I can't write the story without cliches. So I became the villain in their gaze. How could I not? I am no missing link. I am a product of how I was raised. An anglerfish's orb shines like a blaze in the dark ocean. Touch it and you will shrink. I can't write this story without cliches. I am a product of how I was raised.
My name is Luke Bauerlein, and with so many of the Stromberg clan here tonight, I could not pass up the opportunity to read this one. So this is a revision of a poem on the occasion of my friend's 40th birthday. When we heard those words near the end of his story, and 2 weeks later she sucked, followed in quick succession by my dick in Vermont, I knew that it was poetry. The kind of line that drops into a writer's lap like a cup of coffee unloosed upon the morning's rush to work. The shock of recognition, of pain, of course, but also a realization of a new order imposed upon the day. This will require your fucking attention. So it scarcely seems to matter now if the girl's name was Denise, or the two never spoke again, and that for her, whether it took 15 minutes or 15 seconds, it was intended as goodbye. But for him, it became a measurement of time, similar to the place the birth of Christ still holds among agnostics and Anabaptists alike, before Vermont and after Vermont. Maybe she's married now to a guy who volunteers at bingo halls on weekends and lives her solo trips to Home Depot. Who knows? Maybe in another 5 years, they'll split and wind up splitting soccer practice duties, and perhaps it's best we consider such conjecture highly inappropriate. I can't remember the rest of the story anyway. We left the party early that night. The music wasn't particularly good, and the people were all friends of yours, the kind you'd known from a long way off and made silent agreement with, not to mention the space opened up between the lot of you. The only available girl had left an hour before, lost to another night, and it's true, none of us really had a shot with her. We walked out into the lamppost light, and you showed me the old neighborhood. We spoke of Lorca, the meaning of his poems escaping us as easily as the faded brick homes we passed or the town marker from 1786. I remember wishing that I could connect with anything in this world as much as you had with the words of a dead man. Months later, trying to capture it all, I drafted a poem against suicide and dedicated it to you, though I knew nothing of radical love then, or the kind of hope it takes years to beat out of a person. And besides, when I consider what the last 20 years have delivered, I can't call it that anymore. Me with an uncle who came through the bleakest of depressions, but only after wearing the indentations of failed attempts around his throat, like his father's Kelly green tie from 1962. And you with a cousin that succeeded, which is no success at all, and the letter you're convinced he left behind but went unread, destroyed by a family that loved him and was ashamed. He must have mentioned you in it. I know it. As surely as I knew walking the streets beside you that night, if the sea ever does suddenly remember the names of its drowned, you'll recognize the day as one you have long been waiting for, a gift sincerely and patiently earned, the last line in a series of last lines, a pen still in hand, the hand over paper, composing.
All right, I'm gonna do this really fast. My name's Maps, everybody. At the end of Romeo and Juliet, the Montagues and Capulets are standing above Juliet's body, and they promise that they're going to build a statue in her memory for all the violence that her love was supposed to be the cure for, and they failed her. This is about that. A close reading is standing before Juliet's statue. I don't know how Star-Crossed got to mean. I don't know. Whatever it does when we first hear it, like literal, like the night sky blesses those who exhale their innocence to dance with the dust they inhale, like hope. No. Star-crossed just means the night sky writes your number in blood. Cross like doom, I guess, which makes sense. I don't think it's ever a good thing for the universe to know your name. I've been saying. A name is a tricky business to begin with. Fair City pulling you apart with it, solar power burning out of your throat with it, a pox boiling the flesh on your hands with it. I look back up into the town square, as empty as it has been, will be, is. The night sky pushes into the ground, curls its tail around the offering that's coming. I speak something I hope sounds like love into its ear, but more stardust dribbles over my lips. The moon blinks another year away. The stars begin sketching their paths. I don't imagine we're about to start housing the memories of the things we kill in gold.
So, hope you like it. Word spreads and time travels, reaching from a far past brought home. Here walks no more this earthly life, old friend, past friend, crossed over, and the void is felt. A life once connected shall always be a great tree of roots sunk deep. We are those we join in memory. We are community and shall always be experience gathered. Here walks no more this earthly life, old friend, past friend, crossed over, and the void is felt. No visiting again, no drinks poured, her soul is moored, anchored to the ages, sitting, sipping softly with the sages. Long past interaction hanging round, remembrances remain, those souls with whom we lived, live on and more, dancing, daring through eternity. We feel her grace, this empty space of her who was, now laying rest. She is playing with an angel. And the heavens enjoy what we have always known. Sue Steed sits with angels, and they are blessed. Here walks no more this earthly life. Old friend, past friend, crossed over, and the void is felt.
Carbon-based organism. Everything is becoming something else. A street of lawns, those green velvet monocrops. Down the road will compress to coal. After that, a deposit of future diamonds with fertilizer chemicals laced into their crystal structure. Everything that lived is made of carbon. I'm a carbon-based organism. What are you? A post-human jeweler uses a post-laser tool to cut facets into diamonds with shifting colors. The gems will be prized for their chemical underglow, their latent sheen that lights the darkness like a cell phone. Thank you.
It's called Be True. All I'm needing of you, be a friend and be true. Be yourself and be true. Be yourself and be true. Just be yourself and be true. I don't need you to believe in Christ, Immaculate Conception, or the crucifixion. resurrection or his ascension, Trinity nor the days of passion. No need to say God is Jesus' Father, fed the multitudes, cleansed the leper, fixed the crippled, sight the blind, walked on water, water to wine. There's no need to convert you, prove you wrong, or try to subvert you, demoralize you, dehumanize you, disrepute you, or disrespect you. There are things that we both believe. The prophets, the angels, the viteth of the sea, conjured Adam, the flood of Noah, years in desert, the books of Torah. There's Lamentations, Revelations, Genesis, Exodus, Luke, and Romans, Joseph, Moses, David, and Saul, John and Judas, Peter and Paul. All I'm needing of you, just be a friend and be true. Be yourself and be true. Be yourself and be true. Just be yourself and be true. Thank you.
And so I forgive her like a sister. I learn to breathe under the weight, sleep soundly under that terrifying body of dread, knowing this too is forgivable. Like knocking out a tooth of your sibling or taking too much room on the mattress, legs splayed like veins in a womb. 2, a criminal. Closest of friends advise against it. And so we're on the lam, me and her, UV lights and all. We ditch the jobs, skip out of town. She gives her savings and shows them to the guy at the gas station, and he tells us the journey's longer with an expiration date so close. She wants donkeys, big sunflowers. I want the silence of the morning time. My arms get tan and she freckles. We hide in the greatest luxury. The pool is a blue glass filling. The house is a giant sleeping narcotic. In the night, we open the windows to give its gums a rinse. I change my name twice. Once when we escape the chase and once when I'm bored. Then a third. We hold friendly hands in the grocery store, through the floss section. I write poems, avoid cameras. She gets a shiny new hat. She disappears some unassuming night. I always find a trace, never her. 3, a hunter. When we were young, she told me that she had a better idea. All those stupid men and their stupid killing. Genius stuff before we even knew it. Said if she was a hunter, she would be smarter, would just lead the living animals to a hole in the wall, a feeding trough on the other side. There, willingly, we could see all of our trophies. All of the things that could have been dead, but are fed and full and free. 4, a fairy tale. I'm not here for this one. I'm busy feeling too full and too free. Her hands are empty. She gives up her skin and skull to the kids wanting candy. And the kids said, cool, and put it in their pillowcase. Later, she says the weightlessness feels like an empty stomach or a dogless cage. She says with just a heart, the whole world is a collapsible feeling. No thoughts to contain future possibilities of riding horses through the woods and warm lanterns and beautiful women. So she holds her chest with both hands and sits in a puddle of leaves and wrappers, and when the neighbors start to help, she just mostly wants to be left alone. And when she's painless as ever, and she's lonely without it, what else is there to hold? Paint peels from the windows she sits underneath. From the blindness, she now believes she sees everything, and that everything is cold darkness, sharpened leaves. And the kids kick her head around the next day at recess, and she feels every impact but knows nothing of it. 5, a fisherman. She taught me to prepare before I go out. Bird watching binoculars, the green ones, a heavy line, a slim hook, 9 pounds of rope, my favorite life vest, lures, a lot of them, more, Dad's favorite book, Mom's cardigan, a heavy cooler, ice-cold water, hands, my hands. She emphasizes sharpening my hooks, slide the cutting part toward my body. Scale is thick and elusive. Use caution, speed up. A dull point leads to a bored crowd. Emphasizes picking my bait wisely, not the small ones, medium to low shine, says their Greek name means hooked jaw. They were born with a body that propels itself. They feed on nothing, says be careful. Add flash, and don't forget to smile, and don't forget desire and disgust. Watch how life comes effortful and upstream, and you, on a bright day, want to scoop up the shining bodies. 6. A diver. I imagine the ledge and its low visibility. I imagine she's thirsty. I imagine an impact that quenches her forever. I imagine her floating a while, pink and shiny. I imagine the sky reflects around her body all day long like she's a singular cloud. Like how every day I want to die, it rains until I remember her, until I laugh, until I cry. 7. A gas station attendant. Fill it up full. Take the keys. Hell, take the whole car. Go get your favorite soda. The day is beautiful. Drive around until you're blind and warm from the sunlight, until your stomach hurts from the bubbles and the bumps in the road, until you remember me, until you laugh, until you cry. 8. A dentist. Easily spooked, I only catch her mouth in the limelight. She tells me of inflammatory nights, tells me stories of all the Novocaine. I count back from 10 and all the shapes and images of the bedroom transform into creatures of sinew and dreams. When prone like that, all twisted on the numbness, I dream of her office, big open windows, chair pointed to the street for passerbys to perversely stare. Oh, whatever, she moans. Roll over and allow your stiff legs to search for some footing. Like this, I learn to ration my sleep, learn to count slower. Like this, I remember I often love people who love wide open spaces. Like this, I remember I'm poor at knowing when I'm being left alone. Like this, my grief becomes her talent. Her bright ghost every night operates on me. I wake up laughing, crying. Thank you.
Strength training. I want everything to hurt more, to wake to burning into my thighs and arms and gut. I bike until my legs scream, lift 5-pound weights until my arms give out. It feels so good to be alive in this body, collapsing and rebuilding itself. It is still here, growing, not growing old and frail like your fingers, barely holding your wedding ring. I could see all your bones, not a muscle in sight. My thighs have gotten hard from running. There is no outrunning this. You collapsed in my arms and I was not able to hold you. I'm sorry. I am not strong enough for the both of us. I never really thought it'd be this way. Break. I once watched my grandfather pick up a 4x4, promised to break a man's knees for stealing our front porch lamp, then threatened to shatter it rather than give it back. Now his knees buckle beneath him. Everything is wrong. He slams his fist on the table and rips his arms away from my guiding grasps. He is wood and stone. We are dirt and flame. 3 women watching over his missteps. We are not made the same. Where being cut down feels like a finality. We are so much more familiar with where growth meets destruction. Seeing an old man crumbling is worse than seeing the same in a woman. We were always intended for the harshness of change. My belly is more rounded now, but I know it's a cushion for what life could bring. Because we give everything to it, deflated tits and pissing ourselves, thinning hair and blood. That when life ends for a woman, whatever is left to squeeze out of us is just more. He is glass and electrical wire. We are soap and cloth. We can only clean up so much. Start believing it now. It will happen to you. There will come a time you will take the stairs on your hands and knees, not knowing that you're shitting yourself. Swear you're awake when you're asleep. And life goes by like that sometimes. I loved a man for years, crawling through shit, sleepwalking, telling everyone, no, I'm awake. I choose this. Because what's worse than having something done to you, having something done for you that you used to be able to do yourself, but no longer? I became disabled young, so I know what it's like for my body to betray me, but the mind, even when I'm foggy with anger or lust, this I know I trust. So what then, when you're finally sitting there slack-jawed, telling your family you see things that are not there? I'm in the practice of holding down visions long enough for all to hear. When I am going, it will just be like sitting with my notebook to write, urging everyone to leave me alone. Shh, do not disturb them. I am being given permission now to speak from the beyond. So begin finding the church of your mind. Baseball tournament stats, classical music, or math. Convince yourself that drifting there in the end will not scare you. That what only you can see is just like returning home. Your mind has become poetry. You see your pills and know they come from the drugstore. Start giving directions to the drugstore. There's no traffic, right? You say. You get out or go through the drive-thru, but you say driveway. Your mind is a poem now. You get to keep driveway if it works for the poem. You smile. That's a good one. The reader will be surprised. I'm not surprised.
Brushes past her ghost in a field of forgetfulness. My wide white eyes, blank as snowdrifts, won't even recognize her faded features, shimmering like smoke. Persephone spent half the year in hell because she ate the bittersweet fruit of the dead, longing for a mother who would have starved the world in endless winter to get her back. My mother thought she could save me by setting me on fire in order to forge me in her image. Now, if she wants to bask in my burning, she'll have to drag me down to hell herself, but I won't be quietly engulfed in flames. I'll fistfight her right there in the conflagration that she created. I'd prefer to burn there, in her inferno, than float on clouds lined with fool's gold, singing dusty hymns to an absent father, and shivering while stars stare coldly.